Yo, what's up, guys? This is YNOT Be Reckless, aka YNOT Be Casting. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and we have another HCS weekly report where today we're going to be looking at scrims and, more importantly, answering many questions leading into the Dallas LAN DreamHack is less than 2 weeks away. And we have so many questions, yo, with, what do complexity look like? Are they the same team that's been kind of coming in out of nowhere and looking dominant? Our Optic still struggling a bit right now. What, 2 out of 3 tournaments getting top 6 instead of normally winning or getting grand finals like we've become used to. Space Station Gaming looked great, and so many questions coming up. And I think looking at scrims, you can't put everything into scrims, but you also can't completely ignore what you see. It's the final chances for these teams to kind of polish up and make sure they're going to be LAN ready going into DreamHack. So some craziness happened. Why don't we check it out? We're going to start literally the day after tournament play, where complexity continued their reign of terror, if you will, and pull off the 8-0 on Cloud9. Big win coming out of complexity. Obviously, Cloud9 not one of the teams that will be going into DreamHack, but they're still a very good squad. They're still a very strong one. So complexity looking quite good here in this matchup, literally day after tournament play. After that, Optic Gaming going 13 rounds with Native Red, 11-2. In favor of Optic Gaming, another team that we have a lot of questions of. Again, like we said, 2 out of 3 tournaments getting top 6 seems to be unacceptable when it comes to Optic Gaming. So for them to come out with an 11-2 dominant win, kind of like we saw almost all of last year, where they were looking so dominant scrims and nobody coming even close to them, doing just that against the likes of Native Red. I just want to check this out real quick. Boom, boom. Trippy, Lucid, 2 leading slayers on the squad. Also Lucid coming out with a very good amount of assists. But I just want to see what are the 2 wins that Native Red were able to get. So we see, okay, 2 strongholds. Not really surprised there. When you look at Native Red's bread and butter, especially from the past, it was always strongholds. They were always a very good strongholds team. So no real surprise that Native Red were able to get 2 wins, including a dominant one on Recharge, 250-44. Good for them. Moving on to what is another one worth checking out? FaZe and Shopify Rebellion. It was not too long ago during one of the 4Ks where Shopify Rebellion during pool play were able to take FaZe to a game 5, and I feel like it kind of went unnoticed. Nobody was really talking about it at all because of some of the craziness with complexities runs and other and I believe it was like mantras and status quo going off within that pool play. We kind of didn't talk about the fact that Shopify Rebellion were 1 win away, just a few kills away from taking down FaZe over in pool play. And now we see out of 14 games, able to split the difference with FaZe. Shopify Rebellion, one of the teams that, in my opinion, I think really needed to have a good showing out on LAN. I feel like we had big expectations coming towards them preseason. Since then, we're kind of waiting for them to kind of find their rhythm. Like, they haven't been bad, but I feel like they're one of the teams that have the potential of being great, and we haven't yet to see that. I want to see Shopify Rebellion, break out, definitely break out of top 12, break out of top 8, and really legitimately contend for top 6 and top 4, especially on LAN, where I feel like they come with a ton of experience, and I feel like they're gonna be better on LAN. We want to see something out of them. So good for Shopify Rebellion. Just want to check out again leading slays and one. I think it kind of tells a little bit of the story. Renegade and Royal 2 leading the kill column. Frosty and Snakebite are right behind them as far as the assists. So from what I'm looking at, especially from a damage standpoint, a very well-rounded effort coming out of FaZe. And then on the other side of things, you see like one of FaZe's bread and butters are outslaying you. Like if you plan on getting into a punching match with FaZe, just know you're going up against Mike Tyson. Like if you try to go pound for pound with FaZe, you're going to struggle. It looks like Shopify Rebellion might have leaned a little bit more on the objective efficiency because clearly they were outslayed and clearly they were outdamaged. Not a single player ending up in a positive KD, but somehow was still able to take 7 out of 14, which I think is quite impressive and a lot to say about Shopify Rebellion. Status quo 6-1 over LOT, and neither one of these teams you're going to see during the DreamHack LAN, but two teams that arguably deserve to be there, especially Status Quo with the run that they went on during the 4K. It was incredible. It really was. However, Status Quo with the 6-1 over LOT. By the way, LOT captained by Envor, Tony Two Turned, and the boys. Watch out for them going after DreamHack, because I'm sure they're going to be playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Complexity with the 8-1 over Quadrant. This right here was surprising to me, and I feel like I have a lot of I feel like I sometimes will look at scrims to answer some of these questions, but I feel like after finding out what the results of the scrims are, I feel like I have even more questions. Like, were Quadrant playing? I believe Quadrant were playing online. I'm assuming that's the major question, because I feel like what was the connection like with Quadrant when playing its Complexity? What was that ping like? I think we've all who have played this game, you know, a few even more than a few days. I've played every single day of the week. You've experienced, you know, a bad ping, a bad server. You've experienced a bad experience when playing this game online, and I feel like trying to connect for 9 games between EU and North America, I can imagine that somebody had to get into the bad end of the stick. So Quadrant coming in as the #1 team in Europe right now. Navi, don't hurt me. But if this was, you know, unequal playing ground, whether it be LAN or even, you know, both teams being in the same vicinity, the same country, would this have still been as dominant of a win for Complexity? Is really my questions. And Quadrant were able to take a very close Strongholds live fire, but the rest of the games going towards Complexity. And I think this is a real good confidence boost for Complexity, because I feel like we know what's the Complexity we're going to expect to see online, and they look damn good. My gosh, they look good. Forget good, they look elite. But I feel like the biggest question that we have now is that going to translate to LAN? I feel like a lot of people that witness what goes on with Complexity are like, okay, cool, you guys showing that you're real. You guys showing that you're good. Now we want to see all 4 of you get over the hump and do it together on LAN. And I feel like if Complexity want to break out of that, you know, top 8, they want to break out of that top 6, and damn it, they legitimately like a team that could make a run for top 4 or above. You're most likely gonna have to go through a team like Quadrant, and it must feel at least a little bit of confidence being in your, at least in the back of your mind, knowing that you were able to 8-1 Quadrant, no matter what the X factors were. Mantra with 8-2 over LOT. We're gonna talk about Mantra a little bit later on, but one of the teams that got top 6 during, I believe it was top 6. Excuse me, I'm gonna double check that real quick. I believe it was, yeah, one of the teams that got top 6 during the qualifier. Mantra showed their ass. You know, Mantra literally outplaced Avengers, Shopify Rebellion, Native White, and many more. In pool play, they Mantra did their thing, and it's just so fun because I kept talking about you know, Mantra getting back into the form that they were in early 2023. Mantra were going by then TSS and eventually Team Meta. We're looking damn good, and obviously half the roster has changed since then, but you still see that potential there. And once they came out during the phase qualifier, I was like, there we go. That's the Mantra we want to see. And now I feel like you need to use that as a building block a building block of success. You know, I feel like that can't just be like a one-off thing. Okay, we went off one tournament. We're gonna anytime somebody questions, I'm gonna bring back those results. Like, no, that needs to be like, you know, the standard now. You know, now that needs to be your expectations, because now we know you have what you have it in you. Don't allow it to be a one-off thing. Continue to build off of that. Continue to be motivated by that, and continue to hit the potential that we know that you can be at. Because the same way you're seeing complexity start to slide into these conversations, and who knows, you know, maybe not the same level, but Mantra can start putting himself within that tier 3, maybe that tier 2 conversation, kind of like complexity have done, and I would love to see it. You're talking about a good group of guys who are damn good, who are damn good at the game. So, you know, I think Mantra is so good, and I really don't want this to be a one-off thing. I want this to be a building block of success that Mantra used, and to make a comeback, you know, midway through 2023. And watch out for Mantra if you're looking for a dark horse team. Sorry, enough. Yeah, I know I like to ramble, right? Sorry. Optic versus G1. Yeah. I mean, I've said it once, I said it twice, I'll say it a million times. I was big on G1, and I'm not gonna beat them up, because I feel like G1 haven't been bad, but definitely left some meat on the bone. You know, you know, when you eat that chicken. and some people take like 1 or 2 bites, and some people clean off that bone, they polish it up, they leave that bone shiny. Some people, they take 2 bites, I'm done with the chicken wing. G1 have definitely taken only 2 bites, and definitely left a lot of meat on the bone so far in 2023. But the good thing about Halo, and the good thing about these tournaments, is that you can turn around at any point in time. It only takes one run to start good habits, to start expectations, to like you said, to be the building block of something great. And maybe DreamHack Dallas exactly what G1. FaZe versus Native White. 6-2 FaZe over Native White. Native White, another team. Native White, Native White looked really good. Obviously, at Charlotte, pre-Charlotte, just like I was really big on Native White and G1, and pre-Charlotte, I didn't see what I wanted to out of Native White. I fell off for a little bit. Then come Charlotte, I thought they played incredible, and I was back on the wagon, and I feel like I stayed on that wagon for a little bit after Charlotte, but then eventually we kind of saw a little bit of another fall off with Native White, where maybe a bit of missed expectations. And I mean, especially during the FaZe 4K qualifier, you're talking about not even making championship bracket. You're talking about forget top 8, you didn't even make top 12. In fact, now that I think about it, I'm trying to remember, did the Native White even get a win in their pools? Honestly, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I apologize. It's been a little while, and I'm an idiot. But I feel like if we're talking about teams leaving meat on the bone like G1, we can't ignore Native White. It was Native White. If I remember correctly, I believe Native White and Proton Gaming went to a game 5, and I almost want to say it was a 50-49 in favor of Proton Gaming. If it's not, I apologize. I'm sure someone in the comments will correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like Native White did take Proton to a game 5, but Proton came out with the big win. And in fact, I know they did, because I remember Breaking Shot tweeting me and saying something along the lines of good luck with your predictions, because I said I could see a world where Proton Gaming don't make championship brackets. I do remember that. Thank you, Breaking Shot. But hey, at least he watches the show, right? Native White or another team that I would say like Sentinels, like Rebellion, where we want to see them have a good DreamHack. There's certain teams that you're looking at, you're like, yo, they gotta have a good DreamHack Dallas. And I think Shopify Rebellion's and Sentinels. I think Native White. I think Complexity. Those are like my 4 teams on top of my head that I'm sitting there looking, and I'm looking at y'all. I'm saying, dude, y'all better go to DreamHack Dallas and play your freaking asses off. I think so. That's what I want to see. Now listen to me. I guess do what you got to do, but that's what I want to see. I will say, as much as we talk about Complexity and their online game and their online play, Complexity have played FaZe very well. They've beaten Optic in what 2 out of 3 tournaments, knocking them into their lowest seed of the entire year. Shoot, maybe even 2. But Space Station Gaming might be a team that Complexity struggle against. Whether it's online or on LAN, Space Station Gaming 7-3 over Complexity, a team that we were accusing not too long ago of not being as good online as they are on LAN, or being inconsistent online. So now you have Stellar and Penguin apparently living in Texas, and Space Station Gaming are living it up right now. Because over the last 2 weeks, Space Station Gaming have showed a level of eliteness, a level of confidence, and a level of in-game maturity, whether online or LAN, and said, when you talk about the top 3 teams in the world, don't talk about Optic, FaZe, and then Space Station Gaming. It's Optic, FaZe, and Space Station Gaming. You know, it's not 1, 2, and then 3B. Space Station Gaming showed over the last couple weeks that they truly are one of the best teams in the world. And every time you forget about them, every time you start to doubt them, they will prove you the hell wrong. I've been loving what I've been seeing out of Space Station Gaming, and that includes a 7-3 over a red hot Complexity. Obviously slaying out very well. The assists are there. Damage actually awfully close, I would say, between the two. But I've been very impressed with what I've been seeing out of Space Station Gaming. And if Space Station Gaming are continuing to play on LAN better than what we've seen online, watch out for them, Optic. Watch out for them, FaZe, because they're 100% in the conversation of winning. Not gonna put my money on it. Not gonna put the bank on it. But I'm saying Space Station Gaming are within the conversation of winning DreamHack Dallas and are serious contenders. Shopify Rebellion versus Sentinels. Shopify Rebellion 9-6 over Sentinels. I was really interested in this matchup right here for 2 reasons. Number one, I feel like Sentinels have been looking very good in tournament play after bringing the Suspector. I've been and not just with them going against Optic, because for some reason Sentinels seem to play Optic great. I don't know what it is. Sentinels always seem to find the pool play with Optic. Now it'll be the first time they avoid them in like forever. And Sentinels play Optic well. And so I don't know if I was wearing blinders and saying Sentinels have been playing better since bringing Suspector, or Sentinels have been playing better against Optic. I don't know. Either way, I think, like I said before, I think Sentinels, Rebellion, Native White, and Complexity. I'll even throw G1 in that pool as well, I guess. Those are the teams that really need to have a big DreamHack Dallas, and at the end of the day, you know, that's 4 or 5 teams. There's only 16 teams going, so most likely one, two, if not 3 of these teams are going to have disappointing results. And after that happens, I think some tough conversations are going to have to be had with some of the teams. Not saying all of them, but with some of the teams. Sentinels and Rebellion kind of in very similar boats of each other. Ton of potential, ton of talent, ton of experience, and looking to have a big DreamHack Dallas. Shopify Rebellion actually losing, which is so interesting to me, that Shopify Rebellion can lose out in kills by 5 whole kills, lose out the assist battle, lose out the damage battle, and somehow Shopify Rebellion end up winning 9-6. like how do you get outslayed, out assisted, out damaged, and you still win 3? You still win by 3 games. Good for them. Hey, I'm not mad at that whatsoever. Carmea coming out with the 260 in kills, but I think Ryan Newman Rain with over 140 assists apiece, I think is big. Rain actually leading everybody on his team damage wise, I think it's really good. When Rain is firing like this with the balanced stats, I mean, come on, I mean, obviously was outslayed by 7 kills with Carmea, but look at how many assists he had. Like that to me is impressive. But they also play 2 different roles. You know, when I think of Carmea, I definitely think of like an entry fragger type of player. You know, high sensitivity. He wants to damage. You know, duck and move kind of thing. So I love Carmea's role, and I think he's really fun to watch. By the way, check out his streams. Rebellion have always been a very good flag Aquarius team. Good oddball game. A little bit of there was a time and period they actually elected not to replay it. Dominant win in Slayer, loved that by Rebellion. And meanwhile, the games that Sentinels won, besides a couple of Slayers, were pretty close. I mean, only winning by 5 points on live fire. That can go either way, obviously. Only winning by 1 game on Recharge King of the Hill, and then even 30 points to me isn't that big of a deal when talking about oddball and live fire. I think Rebellion. I think Rebellion definitely needed this as a confidence booster. And again, so now I'm leaning a little bit less on Shopify Rebellion. I'm saying, okay, well, what do Sentinels look like the rest of these scrims week, and also what are going to look like a DreamHack Dallas? Because again, like I said, I thought Sentinels were really starting to figure it out. I thought they were starting to play really well. But I still want to see them have a big DreamHack. Let's see what happens with them the rest of these crazy scrims that happen. Shopify Rebellion. Shopify Rebellion 5 over Lot. Another team that again not making DreamHack land, but would love to see them there. Sentinel getting 13-0 by Optic. Hell. I said it before. Optic are a dangerous team when they're mad. Optic are a really dangerous team when they're mad, and when they're Optic are they know that two tournaments they underperformed. They were obviously not happy with not having the number 1 seed going into DreamHack Dallas, which, I mean, I looked at the polls. I think it would have been a tough road for them. Either way, whether they had the number 1 seed, number 2, number 3, I don't think it really mattered too much. I think it's still going to be a tough pool regardless. But I feel like they're now going to be taking this and using this as motivation and coming in determined and coming in angry. And I feel like that's almost worse than just giving them #1 seed and making them happy. Like, don't make Optic angry. Yeah. Forget the green wall. You're talking about the green monster. The green wall will turn to the Incredible Hulk if you have Optic going into Dallas with a freaking chip on their shoulder. Like, are you kidding me? Come on, man. 13-0 against. I mean, 13-0 against any professional team is quite a feat. But this is what Optic used to do to everyone in the league last year, and it got to the point where people were accusing them of being like an online only team and not being able to perform on LAN. Now back to back 3-time LAN champions in a row. I might say going for the 4-peat. But think about it. 4 events ago, people were calling Optic online only. They were calling them onliners. Gonna be fun to watch Dallas. Space Station Gaming 9-4 over Native Red. I feel like Native Red have always there's certain teams that are just bad matchups, and I feel like Native I don't like either one of the Native teams versus Space Station Gaming, and it's not to say that I don't think either one of the Native teams can beat Space Station Gaming. Not that I'm going to ignore the fact that they have beat Space Station Gaming in the past. I'm just saying that matchup wise, if you say these two are going up against each other, you know, in addition to SSG being the 3rd best team in the world, I feel even less confident within the Native rosters to beat Space Station Gaming, both red and white, Native pink, if you will. Just because I just think stylistically, Space Station Gaming just played them tough. They're bullies when it comes to kills. They're objective efficient as hell. Their teamwork is damn good. And when it comes to having to pick up the pace on a dime after getting any kind of advantage, whether it be a health advantage, kill advantage, no matter what that advantage may be, they're one of the best at doing that. Which probably leads to why they're so punishing. And I think that's one of the weaknesses of Native Red and Native White. And you have to come in with a lot of firepower to slow down Space Station Gaming. You have to come in with a lot of firepower to make Space Station Gaming feel uncomfortable enough to second guess those pushes. And I'm not going to say Native Red, and Native White don't have that firepower, but I'm going to say that consistently we haven't seen them provide that as the likes of Space Station Gaming consistently. Space Station Gaming 9-4 over Native Red, and Phase and Complexity splitting the difference here, which I mean, apparently Phase are like obsessed with tying in scrims. I think that this is now the second time that they've tied with Complexity after 12 games, and now the second time this week that they've tied in the scrim once again. But Complexity, they play Phase well. We've seen it time and time again. Phase might have been able to outslay, but Complexity come out with a lot of assists, and the damage ends up almost equal, which is very interesting to see after all of those games. Phase taking the oddball live fire, Complexity dominating on Stronghold's recharge. Query CTF going to Phase, barely oddball recharge to Complexity. The next 2 live fire and Argyle to Phase. Complexity with the 10 kill win in Slayer. Phase a dominant King of the Hill performance, 4-0 on recharge. Carried that to a 5 kill win in the Slayer on live fire. And then the last 3 games, 3.5, I guess, if you don't want to count the tie on King and Hill live fire going to Complexity to eventually tie the games up after 12. And I feel like as I'm saying that, as I'm talking about this, there's probably so many people at home that are just like, okay, Tony, I don't give a damn. Like I feel like I can talk to I'm blue in the face when it comes to complexity scrims, and I think there's so many teams at home that are sitting there like, I don't care. Like if I even mention complexity online, they just tune me out. Because at this point, I feel like like teams are almost like it's as quickly as they came together, is as quickly as teams are like now or viewers, excuse me, are probably now like numb to, okay, complexity are playing well online. And now it's more about, okay, cool, what are you gonna do for me on LAN? I truly believe that. I like complexity. I want to see them be successful. I'm hoping that complexity go on LAN. I'm hoping that they prove a lot of people. I really do. But until they do that, and last scrim, only scrim that happened last night, was one of the biggest shocks to me. And I said we were talking about Mantra earlier, and later on is here. And I also said I wanted to see Mantra after getting that top 6 during the DreamHack Dallas qualifier. I said that I wanted to see Mantra use that as a stepping stone and continue that success. And with a 6-5 win over Sentinels, I'm on. Got to be impressed with that. And mind you, Sentinels have had a rough week in scrims. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened this last week, but Sentinels had a rough week in scrims. And Mantra must have been playing really well. Have a one game advantage after 11 over Sentinels, which I know is not much. If this was probably any other team, I'm sure a lot of you guys wouldn't even care. I'm saying, man, I'm just saying that Mantra qualifier to yesterday's scrim, Mantra might be figuring it out. And when you start to mention teams that are contending for, top 12, top 8, and looking to have that top 6 or above aspirations like Sentinels Rebellion and many others have, maybe Mantra within that conversation as well. Maybe. And that's your HCS Weekly Report, guys. Gotta get a little dramatic with it. I mean, come on, we're about to go to LAN in a couple weeks. Gotta get a little dramatic with it. I'm gonna be at DreamHack Dallas no matter what, whether it's working or whether it's as a spectator. I promise you, I will be there. I can't wait to meet all of you guys there. There's gonna be so much to do at DreamHack outside of just Halo. Just like if you're in the area and you're a gaming fan, an anime fan, a trading card fan, no matter what fan you are, I would highly recommend getting a ticket and heading out to DreamHack, and maybe we can say what's up and get a cold one or share a burger together or something. I don't know why I even said that. Either way, HCS Weekly Report. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Check out the Twitch, check out the TikTok, and I'll see you guys soon.